The number one way to dominate your draft in fantasy football is to do mock drafts. Practice. Practice makes perfect. And in today's video, we're going to do a 10-team mock draft coming up next. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Kurtzman.
And I'm Eric Lee. We are the Fantasy Football Consultants. And Michael, this is truly one of my favorite preseason shows where we get involved in the mock draft. It is so incomplete when people say, hey, I'm ready for my draft because I have my draft order and my rankings. No.
Yeah, you don't know whether you can wait on a guy or whether you should pick him earlier because other people are going to pick him. Those are stuff that mock drafts help you with, and you also get this general sense of flow of the draft.
Yeah, and you'll see
unachievable anywhere else.
Yeah, and you can agree or disagree with our thought process, but you're going to be able to see us talk through our strategy and logic through each picks, and we'll all do it in a relatively short video. So let me ask you one quick question, Michael. 10-team draft, where would you like to pick? Where do you think are the most advantageous spots to pick?
Oh, the top 3, 1, 2, and 3. Because in that order, those are the 3 that have the best chance to win.
Yeah, if you can't get the top 3, you want to go later, which is why, Michael, guess what? We are going to take on the hardest draft spot, the number 4. So we're going to make it tough on ourselves, but we're going to get the 4th draft pick in order. And so let's take a look at the draft board.
All right, so for our draft, we are doing a half PPR snake. Snake meaning that, it goes 1 through 10, then it goes 10 through 1. Sort of like a snake. We are not going to do defense and kicker.
Yeah, here's our bottom line. Kicker, you should pick a kicker from a high-scoring team. Defense, it's our humble opinion that as long as your league allows it, you should be streaming defenses. That'll give you the best result. Now, in your league, you probably have more bench spots, but we want to keep this video relatively short, so we're only going to do 4 bench spots.
Yeah, and we are, as we said earlier, we're going to be drafting in the 4th position of 10 teams. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Of course, we hope that one of those running backs will fall to us.
The likeliness is low. Wait. Okay, draft board. Wait, there's no way. Oh, I thought for a second Zeke went first, and I was like, what?
Round 1.
This is what's going to happen in all leagues. This is why the 4th spot is such a bad spot.
Yeah.
So
Zeke and Barkley may switch around because I'd actually rather have Zeke over Barkley.
Ooh. Well, we differ on that, but, tip to your guy. All right, so what's your thoughts, Michael, here with the 4th overall pick?
I think for right now, since we are in a 3 wide receiver league instead of a 2, if it was 2 wide receiver league, I'd say go Alvin Kamara all day. But since it's 3 wide receivers, I think Michael Thomas is the pick to go here right now.
Yeah, it's a bit controversial. You'll see the so-called experts think that it should be Alvin Kamara.
They're not
experts. But Michael Thomas is a true difference maker. If you are doing tiers in your wide receiver, he's in a tier of his own. The guy got 9.3 receptions per game last year. That's 2 more than everyone else, including even Christian McCaffrey.
So in 13, Christian McCaffrey's even on that list is kind of amazing.
Yeah, 13 more yards than anyone else per game. You know what? And I don't see any reason why it should change. In fact, I think so. Let's give the news to Michael Thomas.
I want you to be on my team.
All right. So. All right, we'll see what we're left with. All right.
So, of course, normally right after Michael Thomas, the running backs that went were Alvin Kamara, then Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I like that pick a lot. Josh Jacobs, then Joe Mixon, then Drake, then Eckler.
All right. And 3 wide receivers, which makes our pick even seem a little bit better. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Julio Jones are off the board.
Hopkins is still available.
Notably, we got the first QB off the board and no tight ends. So this is going to be very interesting.
Round 2.
What I'm surprised by is DeAndre Hopkins is still on the board, Michael. Again, the experts don't like him, but if we were going wide receiver, can you go to wide receiver just for a second? He'd be absolutely the pick. Is there any argument there?
No. Though another thing we could do is not draft Hopkins and then wait for someone like Galladay or Robinson.
Yeah. So I think we're in agreement that if we go wide receiver, Hopkins is the pick. What about running back? If we go running back, who do you think the pick should be?
Nick Chubb, for sure. The lead back in Cleveland. He's the goal line back. He catches passes. He does everything.
Yeah. Again.
And he was the second place rushing leader by like 10 yards because Derrick Henry had like a 230-yard game.
Yeah. And I at least think it is open for discussion. Travis Kelce at tight end. Remember, no tight end has gone. But my vote would be going once again, even though the experts are saying, well, really, they think it should be at running back, should be Miles Sanders. That's what they think.
It doesn't matter what you think.
I agree with you. Let's go with Nick Chubb.
All right.
Let's hope upon hope that one of those guys at wide receiver that we talked about, Hopkins or Travis Kelce, comes back to us. I'm not thinking that is a high likelihood. But let's grab Chubb.
I think Kelce or Kittle is a really good idea, though. Well, it was a sad day at the FFC household. Our guy, Hopkins, and Allen Robinson got taken. But we still have hope. Kenny Galladay is still available.
Yeah, so this is interesting, Michael. So all the guys we talked about in succession, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Hopkins, and Travis Kelce went off the board. Allen Robinson, that pick.
Inconceivable.
I think a tad bit early, but maybe.
Well, it's a good pick.
Okay, you like it more than I do. Like you said, I'd rather have Kenny Galladay. But do you know who I think that I would like? And this is going to make you so happy. Your favorite player of all. What about George Kittle?
Well, as much as I like George Kittle, I just think it's too early to draft a tight end. You can get great tight ends later. They won't be as good as Kittle, but they'll still be good. And I think it's a little too early for a tight end.
Let's see our options.
Round 3.
We should go Kenny Galladay, but I mean,
and
I think Kenny Galladay, because he's the number one receiver on a healthy Matthew Stafford team that can sling the ball. They got DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson who can hopefully actually do something this year.
You put me in the weird situation of supporting your San Francisco 49ers.
I know.
Who is going to catch passes for your team?
Kittle.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. My thought is that George Kittle could, Deebo Samuel. Really wonder whether he will be healthy for a while. And Emmanuel Sanders, that's why I mixed the two, is in New Orleans. So
Ayuk. Do you forget about Ayuk?
Oh, many people will be forgetting about him, including maybe his quarterback.
That hurts, but well, I think Kenny Galladay we should go because we can get Darren Waller later. Darren Waller, who's on the Oakland team, which favors their tight ends, which throws their tight ends so much.
I fundamentally disagree, but go ahead.
How could you say that? Don't draft Darren Waller.
All right. Well, of course, the other quarterback went off the board.
All right. Well, as we said, Kittle was going to go next. I can live with that, even though I am a San Fran fan. I can live with that. And we had Mike Evans. What a curious pick. I don't know how I feel about that. Juju Smith-Schuster, Beckham, A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Thielen, Moore, and Kupp.
Round 4.
How do you feel about those picks?
Yeah, well, what the picks did was it made it a binary choice in position. Because the top two tight ends are gone, I have no interest in the tight ends. Because the top two quarterbacks are gone, I have no interest in quarterbacks. So it really becomes a wide receiver or running back choice. It's very interesting how many wide receivers just went. And only one running back went off the board in terms of Todd Gurley. So I'd like to analyze and take a peek at the options for wide receiver and running back.
So wide receiver not looking too good. Yikes.
Okay, first of all, as a Seahawks fan, I'm annoyed that you would see Tyler Lockett on the list.
Yeah, you guys, you're always annoyed.
Yeah.
Some Seahawk thing.
You know what? You better turn in your San Francisco card. You wouldn't pick George Kittle.
Yeah, and?
Yeah.
It just wasn't smart.
No, ironically, so many wide receivers went off the board after our Kenny Golladay pick. It isn't that crazy of a pick. So there's a lot of running backs we like here. Chris Carson, James Conner, not even on the list. We both really like David Johnson.
Well, here's my thing is we wait on David Johnson and draft like a tight end.
Oh, no. Who's available at tight end?
Waller.
I'm not.
He's one of the top scoring tight ends in the league.
Yeah. If we're picking a tight end, we're picking Zach Ertz.
No, he's not nearly as good
No.
as he used to be.
Yeah. Well, what weapons does Philadelphia have in the passing attack?
Not Zach Ertz.
Yeah, of course it is.
No, they have Jalen Reagor. They have Alshon Jeffrey when he gets healthy. And they have Nelson Aguilar if he can hang on to the ball.
Yeah. You didn't really say Nelson Aguilar.
Yes, I did.
All right. So I'll let you pick the position. You want to go wide receiver or tight end?
Probably wide receiver. I like Robert Woods as a pick here. I actually kind of do. Now that I think about it more, Robert Woods, I'm not sure who's the lead between him and Kupp, but they definitely are like a wide receiver by committee.
Okay. And we're going to just disagree on this whole call. Apparently, that's the way it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
Calvin Ridley. Don't underestimate the fact that Austin Hooper is gone. And there's going to be a lot more red zone targets and just targets throughout the field for Calvin Ridley. Remember, Mohamed Sanu is also gone.
Yeah.
So, it's like clockwork. Matt Ryan is going to throw for 300 plus yards every game.
I see what you're saying. We could definitely go Calvin Ridley.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
Go ahead, make the call.
I think we should go Calvin Ridley and then right back around choose David Johnson.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, David Johnson's still available.
The draft board, let's review who just went by. So once again, a big run on wide receivers. Robert Woods, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Lockett, the guy you were making fun of, and Terry McLaurin. And there was my Zach Ertz. Oh, we would love
Waller's better than Ertz. Waller is better than Ertz.
Zach Ertz. So I think I'm looking here. Let's. I think we can gamble. Let's gamble. Even though, gosh, a lot of teams have only picked one running back.
That seems
Well,
like a really.
well, actually, the 3 teams. So they're almost certain to pick one running back. I want to gamble. So let's go ahead and go with your Darren Waller.
All right.
And let's hope and pray that David Johnson comes back to us and is still available.
Yeah.
Okay, no David Johnson, no David Johnson, no David Johnson. Mark Ingram went.
Hey, it worked.
Mark Ingram went ahead of David Johnson.
Wow.
I just don't
We
understand.
just made a video on that, on why that is a very dumb move.
Yeah. So let's go and check the draft. Let's look at some of these picks here that went off the board.
Wow.
So so if we look at the slate of things, we've got 4 QBs gone, but none of them are Kyler Murray, your favorite quarterback.
Yes, Kyler Murray. He's a rival, but for fantasy, I can live with it.
Yeah, just
No, he sucks.
Yeah,
But
calm
in
down.
fantasy,
As Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott went off the board, running backs Carson, Leonard Fournette, and Mark Ingram are all off the board.
Guns and Roses. What do you? Mark Ingram.
Who are the wide receivers who are gone?
DK Met, DK Swole Cavs, Keenan Allen, DJ Chark, Devontae Parker, T.Y. Hilton, and Stephon Diggs.
We are just loving the fact that all these wide receivers are going when we already have 3 wide receivers. So that's great.
Yeah.
Just keep drafting wide receivers behind us. That is A-okay with us. Now, let's take a peek at our options. I don't know if I feel comfortable testing fate of waiting any longer for David Johnson, but let's just at least look, who are our wide receivers? Who would we go if we already have 3 wide receivers, so we're not going.
I think David Johnson is the move.
Let's check quarterback. Not even going to look at tight ends. We already have our tight end. There's that Kyler Murray coming on strong.
Wait, let's look to see if we can gamble on quarterback. 1, 2, 3. Only 4 people have taken.
Yeah, and the 4 teams that are going, if you go back to the draft, none of them have quarterback. So there's a guarantee that Kyler Murray will not come back to us.
Yeah.
But will David Johnson potentially, can we actually gamble again with David Johnson? Go back to the draft board, and we see that only one, all of them have 2. Oh, I think we got to go Kyler Murray. And then once again, gamble.
We're going to gamble.
That David Johnson is available. Oh,
All
boy.
right.
I'm gonna hold my breath here.
That's our luck.
Yeah, so Kyler Murray goes off the board. Look at all those QBs as we expected, and
would you look at that? David Johnson is still available. Wow, Eric, your bet paid off.
Yeah, well, I'm. You know what? If you're gambling and you're winning, you got to know when to take all your chips and go home. I want to take my chips, Michael, and go home. I like David Johnson a lot better than Le'Veon Bell. There's really no comparison.
Yeah, no. David Johnson, though they're both 3-down backs, but David Johnson's just on a better offense.
Agreed.
Definitely.
All right. I love this. Once again, I see a bunch of people picking the position that we just picked. That's what you'd love to do.
Yeah. So after Johnson, people picked Hollywood Brown, Landry, Christian Kirk, and Tyler Boyd, just to name the receivers. And then Too
Uh,
many people with Wentz and Breeze.
Tyler Boyd right in front of us, Michael. I would love to have had Tyler Boyd as a backup wide receiver. We have talked about the fact I think he could realistically be the number one wide receiver, even with AJ Green coming back.
Yeah.
So the running backs, all a lot worse than David Johnson. Le'Veon Bell, Jonathan Taylor, Raheem Mostert off your 49ers, and David Montgomery.
I don't
and then a couple of weeks.
I don't not like Jonathan Taylor, though. I think he could very well, by the end of the year, be Indy's starting back.
Yeah. And then a couple of weak tight ends. All right. So if you look to the left part of your screen, you can see we have filled our entire roster, our starting roster. Now what we need to do is focus on the bench. What I like to do is fill the benches with running backs and wide receivers. And the first two bench guys I like to have as dependable guys, and then the last two guys as more upside guys. Well, Cam Akers, I mean, gosh, he has a chance to be the number one back on the LA Rams.
Yeah.
So does DeAndre Swift. So
Detroit Lions.
On the Detroit, will they pick Kerryon Johnson, who's the incumbent?
Swift, there's nothing impressive about Kerryon.
Let's take a look at what we're looking at wide receiver.
Edelman, your guy.
Yes. Brandon Cooks is also very exciting because he could very well be the number one wide receiver.
It's going to be Fuller. It's going to be Fuller than Cooks.
Okay. My concern with Cooks is his injuries, and he really has not been the same for the last couple of years. So we can get the number one wide receiver on Houston. It's one of these guys. Who I believe the number one wide receiver on New England. One of the things that I would also mention, something is exciting a little bit about Kareem Hunt because he could have standalone value, but also let's remember who our second round draft pick was. It was Nick Chubb. And if something ever were to happen to Nick Chubb, he also acts as a nice handcuff. So I actually would argue that I would go Kareem Hunt here.
All right. No, yeah, that's definitely probably a good pick too. And I'm pretty sure Julian Edelman could probably be swung around.
Well, one of those wide receivers are going to be available. And it looks like all of them are.
Yeah, no one wants a wide receiver anymore.
Who look, all those running backs.
Wow.
Gone.
And Hayden Hurst. I really like Hayden Hurst, the Atlanta tight end, because it's Atlanta. You get all those opportunities, but alas.
Yeah, well, we already got a great cog in their offense and Calvin Ridley. All right, so now I think we got to go to wide receiver. And Julian Edelman last year, of all wide receivers, 4th in targets. Of all wide receivers, 4th in receptions, over 1,100 yards. It's my opinion he is clearly going to be the number one wide receiver. He shouldn't be going this late. He absolutely should not be going this late in the draft.
Yeah, the thing that probably scared off people is Cam Newton, is Cameron Newtington.
Yeah,
and George Jarrett Stidham, because neither of them. We don't know about Stidham, but we know Newton is not accurate.
Cam Newton just took you off his Christmas card list. All right, let's go ahead and select Julian Edelman. I feel really good about how this team has come together. And
solid backups that can fill in in case of injuries.
And I think right now I'm looking for high flyer guys. Oh, darn it! Who was the guy that went right before us? I'm sorry. I thought I saw Will Fuller right before us. It wasn't. He went away before. So I would have loved
Fuller
to have Will Fuller, but because I think he's the typical high upside guy.
Mm-hmm.
So who went?
So after Edelman, we had Dobbins, Ronald Jones, James White, Sony Michel, Jordan Howard, Kerryon Johnson, Coleman, and Mack.
All right. So we only have two more picks, and I'm looking for some really high upside guys here. Well, upside, that's the question here. Which of these guys do you believe gives us the highest upside?
John Brown.
You just love that Buffalo Bills offense.
Well,
So,
they got a trio of weapons. I don't see why they couldn't.
do you think he'll be the number one wide receiver, or will it be Stephon Diggs?
I don't know. Because that's a little tough. I do not know.
Okay. Well, if you would have said John Brown,
No.
I think it's going to be Stephon Diggs, but he is the incumbent. I'll let you make the pick.
John Brown.
I probably would have gone Deontay Johnson just because he's the clear number 2 on Pittsburgh. And keep in mind, last year was just so horrible without Ben Roethlisberger. I'm assuming we get a healthy Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but I'm just not sure how good Juju is. So now that I think about it, Deontay Johnson might be good because we're not sure how good Juju really is.
You were thinking John Brown. I was thinking Deontay Johnson. I'll flip a coin. Deontay Johnson. There's no coin. It's just
that's so rigged, but it's this late in the draft that I don't even really care.
All right. So the last pick. There goes John Brown.
Tony Pollard might just be a great pick right now.
Yeah, and
Zeke is injury prone. If you guys remember, Zeke has gotten injured.
I think the way that Alvin Kamara plays, he has just as equally a likelihood of being injured. And Latavius Murray does give you a certain upside even with Alvin Kamara healthy. So personally, I would go Latavius Murray in this short draft. In real life, you'd have more bench players, and I think you would want to pick Tony Pollard maybe as your 6th or 7th bench player. But I would go Latavius Murray here and feel pretty good about our draft.
All right. No, yeah. I definitely think that this was a good draft, as you guys can see. I think we did really well. Oh, look, there's Jerry Jeudy. I really like that. B.
Okay, well, they're nuts. They don't let's get that B off the screen. I'm offended. I think that we did better than a B, but if you made it this far in the video, please do us a favor, smash that like button and hit the red subscriber button.
And do not forget to comment down below. Who do you think was the biggest steal, or who do you think we should have drafted in this draft?
All right, and please, we'll put on the screen some more of our draft prep, getting you ready for the 2020 season. Check out those videos. We're doing other mock drafts. We do sleepers and bust shows. All content you want to do, what you want to watch to nail your draft. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye.